He is known as the Prince of Darkness and the grandfather of heavy metal. Hi, I'm Boom Radio's metal historian Jake Bruning, and today we're going to look at the life and career of Mr. John Michael Osbourne. He was born on December 3rd, 1948 in Birmingham, England, in a working class family. Osbourne began performing at a young age by acting in school plays and musicals. He then worked a string of manual labour jobs before going to jail for a petty crime. Upon his release, he joined a local band as the vocalist, and the group eventually called itself Earth. Great name. And they produced conventional bluesy rock. Earth found some local success, but they really got recognised when they turned to a darker sound. Another name change came shortly in 1969, and Black Sabbath was born. As the front man for this influential British band, Ozzy helped define early metal music. The band's 1970 self-titled album was considered forgettable by critics, but it sold well. The band's follow-up effort, Paranoid, was considered sentimental to the heavy metal genre. Sabbath released more pivotal albums during the 1970s, but at the height of their popularity, Ozzy decided to capitalise on the opportunity to pursue a solo career. This decision was precipitated by tensions in the band as well as drug use by Osbourne and the rest of the group. Ozzy officially left Black Sabbath in 1979. The next year, he began recording his debut album with a group of established musicians. This included former Quiet Riot guitarist Randy Rhoads, and later in 1980, Wizard of Oz was released. And it became one of the best-selling albums of the decade on strengths of hits like Mr. Crowley and Crazy Train. By this time, he was being managed by Sharon Arden, who was the daughter of the Black Sabbath's manager. The pair began to date, and shortly after they were married. Osbourne built off the success of his debut album with 1981 Diary of a Madman. The album featured a number of standout tracks like Flying High Again and Over the Mountain, while the title track sent shivers down the listener's spines. By this time, Ozzy had a reputation going on. For his era vocals and nature to zoom into an angry misfit, yes, and his country theatrics added to this. He threw raw meat at crowds and bit off the head of a live bat. Very, very typical for modern day metal. But publicly, he did this in addition to publicly urinating at the Alamo. Ugh. These incidents earned him more fans though. However, as Osbourne's and Rhoads' career reached unseen heights, tragedy struck. On March 19th, 1982, Rhoads was a passenger on an aircraft piloted by the band's bus driver. And sure enough, what happened? They eventually got killed. In the wake of this misfortune, Osbourne was contractually obligated to release a live album to avoid profiting from his friend and bandmate's death. He hired guitarist Brad Gillis to step in and record the Black Sabbath covers that became 1982's Speak of the Devil. The next year, Ozzy partnered with guitarist Jakey Lee and released the successful Bark at the Moon. In 1986, he released his fourth album, The Ultimate Sin. Again, Jakey Lee was the lead, and by 1987, Lee had been replaced by Zakk Wylde. And he helped introduce Ozzy to a new generation of metal fans with 1988's No Rest for the Wicked. Ozzy didn't slow down in the 90s. The massive successful No More Tears featured numerous hit singles and was released in 1991. This album won Ozzy a Grammy for the song I Don't Want to Change the World. The concert series in support of that album was nicknamed No More Tours, as Ozzy announced it would be his last. And in 1993, he released one of the best live metal records of all time, the double album Live and Loud. Fortunately for fans, he returned in 1995 with Osmosis and ensuring retirement sucks tour. I see what you did there. Also in the 90s, Ozzy and his wife launched the popular metal concert series Ozzfest. The next decade, Ozzy made it into television by launching the MTV reality series The Osbourne in 2002. On that show, Ozzy audiences were introduced to a different side of Ozzy and his family. Ozzy continued releasing albums well into the 21st century, with 2001's Down to Earth, followed by 2007's Black Rain, 2010's Scream, 2020's Ordinary Man, and 2022's this year's Patient Number 9. With highly publicised on and off drug troubles and constant wild rumours following him throughout his career, Ozzy Osbourne is living proof that after all was said and done, only the music mattered.